Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hey, welcome. It is so good to have you. My name is Noki. On today's video, I'm going to talk about the life lessons and the financial lessons that I personally have learned in 2020, and I hope these lessons resonate with you, and I hope you can also share some of the life lessons that you have learned during the course of the year. So starting off with the financial lessons, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in 2020 is that any kind of job is not guaranteed. No job is secure. No job is guaranteed, which is why I've dedicated time on this channel to share the knowledge that I have and the research that I continue to do about the importance of having your own home-based business. If anything, 2020 has taught us that it is super important not to be dependent on a job and not to be dependent on a salary. This year, more than in any other year, we've learned the importance of having your own home-based business or a side hustle for that matter. Yes, I do believe and I understand that there are people who love their jobs and who have jobs that pay so well, but having a job that pays well does not guarantee that that job is going to be there tomorrow. We know that this year a lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people have had their hours cut, a lot of people have to work remotely, and we know that a lot of challenges have come into play during this year, which is why on this channel I talk about the importance of having your own home-based business, having a side hustle so that you do not depend entirely on your income. The other lesson that I've learned in 2020 is that you cannot depend on one or two sources of income. It is very important, as we have learned in 2020, to have multiple streams of income. And as I've been doing the research, there are more jobs that you can do at home than we ever thought. So I will continue to bring you some home-based business ideas on this channel. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed. Another very important lesson that I've learned, especially here in the United States, and I'm sure this applies to other countries as well, is that government typically favors businesses more than workers themselves. We've seen that in this year, when they were working on the stimulus, more money was channeled towards businesses, especially the small businesses. Millions and millions of dollars were channeled towards the Small Business Administration, the SBA, and a very tiny amount of money was allocated to people who are unemployed. And we know that the government was making such a big deal about giving people $600 per week for staying at home without a job, and at the same time, and they were channeling more money towards the small to medium-sized businesses. So that for me was an aha moment. You are better off and you benefit more when you own your own business. And I do hope that most people have taken steps towards having their own businesses. Another great lesson that I learned and that brought a smile to my face is that when you have your own small business, home-based business for that matter, you have an advantage when it comes to filing your taxes. You have over 400 tax breaks or tax credits that you can claim that the government will give you back as a refund. So that is one major reason why you should have your own business. And I'm sure we all have learned that there is nothing like job security. No matter what part of the world you are based in, there is nothing like job security. You are better off starting your own business, expanding that business, and introducing different streams of income. Another thing I learned is that it is very, very important to save money for times like this. because people who did not have any savings, they struggled, and they are the people who had the government's mercy, the government complaining about giving them the unemployment money. So when you have your own business, and when you have investments, and when you have savings, you know that you are well taken care of, and you know that your family is secure. That for me was a big lesson as well. And this next one borders between financial and life lessons. I learned that during this year that we had the pandemic going on, and it still goes on, it is not a time to give excuses or to cut down on giving. Personally, for me and other people that I know, especially my friends, this year some of us gave more than ever, and we saw the hand of God. And I learned how important it is to give in times when people are struggling, and that is the time when the blessings come in abundance. What this year taught me is that it is always important to give, and to keep giving without giving any excuses. If you talk to any person who loves to give, they'll tell you that this was the best year of giving, and that this was the best year that business got better, because the more you give, the more blessings you get. At least that is my life principle, and that is what I believe. The more you hold on to what you have and do not share with other people, the less you get. We have to be open-handed, so that when we give, we are opening our hands for God to place more in our hands. This has been a year that I've seen the faithfulness of God. He has been the blessings have been coming left, right, and center, especially with new business ideas. Like I was saying in one of my previous videos, some of us have more ideas than we can implement. So there are more business ideas, and this can only happen if you are in touch with reality. This year has just proven that no matter what this economic situation is, the more you give, the better off you are. There is something about giving. Personally, I love to give, and I sincerely believe in that it is blessed to give than to receive. There is so much joy in giving. And for me personally, I see more benefits when I give than when I receive. Yes, it's good to receive, but I feel better when I give. Moving on to the life lessons. There's been so many life lessons that I've learned. The number one lesson that I've learned in 2020 is the importance of gratitude. The more grateful we are, the more things we find to be grateful for. The more grateful we are, and the more we express our gratitude, the more things we find to be grateful for. We have a lot, personally, I have a lot to be grateful for. Please get me right. I'm not claiming to have it all nice and dandy or not to have any issues, but I choose to focus on the blessings more than the challenges, because the more I focus on my blessings, the more I focus on the importance of gratitude, the more things I realize that I'm grateful for, and the more blessings I seem to get. Why don't you try being grateful? And as we get into 2021, I hope you can spend more time being grateful and less time whining and complaining about what is happening or what is not happening around you. As I continue with these life lessons, some of them are just reminders of the things that we already know. Some of them may seem or sound like cliches, but we need these reminders. I personally need to remind myself of some of these life lessons, so to speak. Some of the life lessons that I've learned in that the best time to start a business is now. It's just to start. There is never a good time to start anything. You can never wait for an idea to be perfected. You cannot wait for something to happen. The best thing to do is just get started. Whatever we are planning to do, whatever I'm planning to do, the best thing is to just get started. There is never a time that is perfect for anything to be started. Otherwise, you'll find that 10 or 20 years from now, it's still not a good time. So the best time is to start anything is to just start. Just get started. The perfecting and the other issues are going to fall into place as you get started with whatever idea you want to implement in your life. The other important lesson that I've learned in 2020 is that human beings are selfish human beings. So what 2020, and that is how we were all born. Just like everyone is born in with a sin nature, we are all born selfish. However, what 2020 has taught me is that each individual decides whether to magnify their selfishness or to minimize it. And 2020 has shown us that if you are selfish, you've been more selfish this year. And if you are selfless, you've been more selfless this year. Which is where that giving point that I mentioned also comes in. Another important life lesson that I learned in 2020 is that there are more reasons for me to decide to do something versus the reasons to decide not to do something. And that depends on the mindset. I am responsible for setting my mind in the right direction, in controlling what runs into my thoughts, in controlling what I decide to meditate on or to focus on, so to speak. And I choose to focus on the positive versus the negative, because it is more healthy to think positive thoughts. Some of the choices that you and I have made in 2020 are going to impact the way 2021 is going to look like. What we have failed to do in 2020 or what we have succeeded to do in 2020 is going to be part of how we get into 2021. As much as we may choose to complain about 2020, there are a lot of good things that have happened in 2020. So what I want to encourage us today is, why don't we focus on the good that has happened in 2020 versus the bad? I am very sure that there are good things that have happened in your life in 2020, and that I have learned. Personally, I refuse to just throw away 2020, because I believe some of the most important things, business ideas and personal things that have happened in 2020, they will impact my life forever. And some of the things that have happened in 2020 are things that have set me for success. There are things that have happened in 2020 that were it not for the pandemic, I wouldn't have come across them. I would still be in my comfort zone. But what 2020 has done it has made me get out of my comfort zone and venture into some of the things that I didn't even think that I would venture into in 2019. So I'm really so thankful for what has happened in 2020, because it is through those challenges that we realize for you as well that there are great things that you are going to be doing in 2021 as you continue to learn. Be a student of life. I always say that I have a master's degree in life, and as for the PhD, that is an ongoing thing. I'm still a student of the PhD, and that will remain like that until I leave this earth. Because I'm afraid if I say that I have a PhD in life, that means I stop learning. I refuse to stop learning. I want to learn new things every single day, and I want to learn from you as well. I believe every person that we meet, every person that we come across in life, they have something to teach us, and I want to continue to learn. One of the things that I'm excited about as we get into 2021, I'm not a person who believes in making resolutions, but I prefer to set goals for myself. So the two most important things that I want to do in 2021 is, number one, I want to guard my time jealously. I want to manage my time well. I believe in 2020 I've slacked in managing in time management. So in 2021 I want to be very intentional in managing my time. And the second thing that I want to do in 2021 is I want to get back into reading audiobooks. I want to listen to audiobooks. I want to really be listening to as many books as I can, because I realize that the more I listen to books equivalent to reading, the more I listen to books, the more I learn and the sharper my mind will become. And I want to sharpen my mind and keep my mind thinking. I want to continue to use my brain, my God-given brain. I want to use my brain. I don't want to be that person who just depends on Googling everything. I don't want to be a Google. I don't want to be a Google dummy, you know. That's what I call them. I don't want to be a Google dummy. But I want to learn. I want to I'm not saying that there's anything wrong about Googling, but it looks like more people, it looks like some people are so dependent on Google that they can't even use their own brains. So I want to get back to reading, self-development books, inspirational books, things that will nurture my spirit, things that will help me grow, because I believe whatever is written or whatever book I listen to, by the time I get to the last chapter, I would have learned a number of things. So the two things that I really want to focus on in 2021 is guarding my time jealously, managing my time well, changing those things that didn't work well in 2020, and just doing things different, those things that need to be changed, and doing more of those things that will help my businesses get to another level. And I also want to just be somebody who is helpful to the community. I want to focus more on things that will help the community, things that will help me to be a better person, things that will help me to be a better citizen of the world. Of course, I could go on and on about life lessons, but I think let me stop here for today. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already long enough. But hey, thank you so much for being part of my community, and for those of you who linked or connected with me in 2020, I am looking forward to us growing together in 2021, helping one another to be better people, to be better business owners, to do things, to challenge one another to be better people, to be better mothers, to be better sisters, to be better wives, to be better husbands, to be better citizens in general. So sound off in the comments below and tell me what your aspirations or inspirations for 2021 are. What are your goals? What are your plans? What are you looking forward to as we get into 2021? Here's wishing you a very prosperous 2021. I'm wishing you the best in 2021. May you be successful in everything that you venture into doing, and may you have that spirit of boldness and a spirit of excellence in doing whatever you want to do. Remember, the most important thing is to get started. Just get started. Let's just do it, whatever it is. And if you need accountability partners, hey, I'm here. I can be your accountability person. Let's be accountable to one another. Make your partner or your husband, your spouse, to be your accountability partner on whatever you want to do. Tell them what your plans are, your goals are for the year, and have somebody choose a number of people to be your accountability partners. Yes, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of my small growing community. Yes, let's continue growing this channel as we continue with the giveaway and all. Yeah, but I think I'm going to make changes on the giveaway after we do the New Year's drawing. I'm going to be changing the giveaway slightly. maybe as I'm watching what's going on in the channel, I think I'll make some slight adjustments which makes sense to me as far as the giveaway goes. So sound off in the comments below. Remember to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and comment. Leave me a comment. Share my videos as much as you can, because I'm watching you guys. I'm watching. Some people are like regulars on this channel, and I am really watching that. And thank you so much for being part of my community. Here's wishing you a prosperous 2021, a very safe, joyful year. And may you continue to shine that light that is in you. And may you live your best life, a life of freedom, by having your own home-based business. Thank you once again. And remember to do small things with great love. From my heart to yours. Bye-bye.